Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rambling RunOff. I am your host, Robert Rios, and with me, as always, I got Danny Tan by my side, virtually, of course. Yes, I know it's been a pretty long time, which we'll kind of get a little bit of an explanation. I'll give it to you guys in a bit, but it's good to be back recording again. It's been a hot minute. I mean, it's been more than a minute, I think. But yeah, we have a slew of things on our slate today. We're going to be going over the NBA season, which is going to be coming up very soon. We're going to be going over the NFL season, which is already in the swing of things. And do you guys like parity? Because I do. And of course, we got a bunch of stuff in the rundown. But before we get into that, we're going to get into, what would you say, some logistics. But yeah, everybody, sorry for the very long hiatus. I'll just say sometimes life gets in the way and you gotta prioritize, what's more important in life. But yeah, I mean, that's more or less what's kind of stopped the pod, unfortunately. But it's all good in the hood. On the brighter side of things, I've just been working. I've been going out with my friends a lot lately, which has helped me out. But Danny, what you been up to? What can you tell the people that you've been doing in the past couple months?
I have not been up to much, just work. I didn't play much golf over the summer, so I'll kind of be getting back into golf. Played a clean 18 holes the other day. Did horribly, but that's all the fun of it. Yeah, haven't been up to too much, but like you, living life, hanging out with some friends here and there. Celebrated your birthday recently. Happy birthday to you. Podcast had missed it, but it was Robert's birthday earlier this month. Happy birthday to him. Shout out.
Thank you. And it was a interesting September, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I mean, we're glad to be back. Hopefully we can do this consistently again. I'm thinking out loud. We could probably do this up until December when like the holidays are here, Probably won't do an episode around Thanksgiving because it's just too much work for me doing it by myself, so that's not gonna happen. But yeah, up until like at least December, we'll go for like a good while. I think that'll be okay, right?
Yeah, I think that's good. And we take a little bit of a holiday break.
Yeah, like a week or two. I mean, we only do one episode a week, so. Yep. But yeah,
that's fine.
All right, there you go. You guys heard it from us. We're back, baby.
We're back. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
But Danny, is there, besides what you've been up to, is there anything on your mind you want to talk about real quick with the people? Have you read any good books, any TV shows, any
good
Netflix
books?
series?
Haven't been reading much. No. Watch a bit of the live action One Piece. It was all right.
I saw that too. I like it.
Really truncates the, it really shoves a bunch of episodes in a shorter series for One Piece. I think it's a good jumping off point. I think they lose a little bit of the build up and emotional parts of some of the early episodes when you get the backstory of some of these characters. But I think it's a good entry point. Not much other than that. Netflix, been watching Love Is Blind with my girlfriend. Messy, drama-filled season. Not much for reality, but when I watch with her, that's when I watch. And this is a messy-ass season. If y'all been watching, you already know. If you know, you know. What about you, Robert?
Yeah, I saw that. Like I said, I've seen the One Piece live action as well, and I really enjoyed it. I feel like it was it kind of spoke to me in a way. Like I like that. It's very consistent writing. Especially with the parts where they're speaking about everybody's dreams and what they want in life. So I thought that was like very relatable. You mentioned Messi. I was watching a little bit of the Messi documentary on Apple TV.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. I haven't finished it yet.
Messi to Messi, huh?
But the one I did finish, and this isn't sports related as well, the David Beckham limited series on Netflix is actually pretty good. I like the first two episodes are like really good. Then, not that I didn't like 3 or 4, but it kind of got more into like, the stuff that you already kind of know.
Yeah.
because it's more recent. But other than that, I thought it was pretty great. So I recommend everyone go checking that one out on Netflix. And yeah, go check out the Messi one as well on Apple TV. It follows Messi coming to America.
Not a sponsor.
Messi coming to America and winning his first trophy in the Leagues Cup.
Yeah, I mean, damn, it happened so quick, huh?
It was only within a month.
Yep, that's crazy. Talk about hopping on the back of the team's success.
Well, I mean, they were considered to be the weaker of the teams.
I mean, but come on, how much did Messi contribute in that month?
A lot. He scored like 6 goals.
That's true.
But anyways, you have anything else to say, Danny?
That's it. I think I'm ready to jump on into it.
We'll start the rambling. I just want to we'll do it at the end, but to any of the people that haven't listened or you somehow stumbled upon our podcast, you can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Rambling Runoff, on Instagram, at Rambling Runoff, TikTok, at Rambling Runoff. Find us on YouTube as well, Rambling Runoff or whatever Rambling Runoff basically. But we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So check us out. But Danny, you ready to do the rambling?
Let's go.
Alrighty, guys. For our first topic for today, and quick disclaimer, we usually talk about 2 topics, 20 minutes each, kinda. Another random topic, sports related. Then the rundown is whatever. But for example, our first topic for today is the NBA season, which is about to begin next week. And I'm gonna go over some dates of importance really quick. So the season starts Tuesday, October 24th. The season ends Sunday, April 14, 2024. And then in between that, we have the NBA in-season tournament, which begins November 3rd. The semifinals will be December 7th for the in-season tournament in Las Vegas. Then the championship game will be December 9th in Las Vegas as well. So, Danny, we all know, and if you heard our podcast before, Danny is a basketball junkie. He plays fantasy basketball.
Yep.
We also dabble in a little bit of college basketball as well. But NBA is where it's at right now. And Danny, there's wasn't too much NBA news over the off season, to my knowledge, unless my notes are wrong and unless you would like to chime in. But some of the things that me and you did point out was the big move over the summer. And I was wrong. I'll admit it. My guess was incorrect. Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. What was your first reactions and how you think this will help the Bucks in the long run?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was on the same boat as you. I did not think Dame would be traded. I think he was, or I thought he was, pulling a Kobe, forcing his way to getting a bigger trade deal to come to Portland and get the players that he wants. But surprise, surprise, he goes to Milwaukee. Probably the best team he could have landed on, other than the team he wanted, the Miami Heat. I think this, a team that was already a contender makes them, I think the best team in the East for sure. I think defensively they're a little weaker than Boston still, but I can almost guarantee that Boston and Milwaukee will be the top 2 teams in the East. Dame, I watched a bit of, they played their first game together against the Los Angeles Lakers, our hometown team. And he was looking pretty good. He led the team in scoring, I believe with 17 points. But it was a crazy trade to be announced. I did not think that it was going to go through. I believe it was a 4-team trade with the Phoenix Suns, Portland Trail Blazers, Milwaukee, and I'm forgetting the last team, but
I'll check for you right now.
I think everyone except for the Suns kind of came out winning. Portland got a lot of pieces. A lot of young pieces. They got rid of Dame, who is becoming a problem, I think, for them when they wanted to pivot. The Suns got rid of DeAndre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic and a couple of pieces. And the Milwaukee Bucks got Dame. Immediately ups their contender status. They got a superstar They got it for almost nothing. I wish that they had kept Drew Holiday and gave away Chris Middleton. I'm sorry to say, but I think keeping that defensive guy, I'm not sure how it would have looked in the lineup more, but I think Drew Holiday moves the needle a lot more. And seeing him end up in Boston. Oh, I guess that was a separate trade. I don't know if it was part of the same 4-piece.
I can
that
read
might have
you
been the
the
last team I was thinking of.
I can read you the full trade, by the way. So it was
Go
a
ahead.
three-team trade. The Bucks received Damian via the Blazers. The Trailblazers got the most out of it. The Trailblazers got DeAndre Ayton from the Suns, Tomani Kamara from the Suns, Drew Holiday, from the Bucks, which I was also shocked. The Blazers also get the 2029 first-round pick from the Bucks and 2 first-round pick swaps with the Bucks for 2028 and 2030. And then finally, the Suns receive Grayson Allen from the Bucks, Keon Johnson from the Blazers, Nasir Little from the Blazers, and then Joseph Nurkic from the Blazers as well. So yeah, that was the full official trade via the NBA's website.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for all teams, they probably feel like they got what they wanted at the end of the day. And then I think just to complete that trade, well, I guess trade chaining, it wouldn't be part of that trade, but Drew Holiday ended up going to the Boston Celtics, and I believe the Trailblazers got back Robert Williams III, and I think a pick. But yeah, I mean, Drew Holiday going to the Boston Celtics is the bigger story. Who gives a fuck what the Blazers get? But it's such a huge deal, I think, for Dame, someone who was supposed to be, a single franchise player. Who, if I was a Portland fan, I wish it ended up being like Kobe in LA, where it became, a little bit of a Cinderella story, win one championship, go after another. But it's just not the way it worked out. I think the closest they ever got was a conference final appearance. Never met in the finals. Never made it further than, if I'm not mistaken, the conference finals. Or no, maybe it's the second round, which might have been one of the major factors of the front office giving Dame the boot for some younger legs. But I mean, immediately, Boston and Milwaukee are scary teams. I'm glad that Drew Holiday stayed in the East and Dame went to the East, because the West is just so stacked this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a huge trade. Yeah, what do you think about it, Robert?
I mean, I was shocked. I mean, I'm if older viewers of ours remember, I was saying Dame should have gone to Miami. I mean, I would disagree that I don't think I would have said Miami was the better contender for Damian Lillard to go to instead of Milwaukee. I feel like Milwaukee just came out of nowhere and scooped them up. Especially like I was saying, like there was a lot of turmoil and how would you say like baggage, with it. Like a lot of destruction was left in that trail just for him to get there. 3-team trade just to get one of the better league's better shooters, a guy that carried the Portland Trailblazers on his back. I mean, I think that's not even an overstatement. I think that's an understatement in my opinion.
Yeah.
Considering
I mean,
that
even at his age, he scored 30 points per game last season.
Yeah, and that's not because he was
Incredible.
a ball hog. It's just there was no one. I couldn't name you anybody else from the Trailblazers. I'm gonna keep it a buck off the top of my head. Like that shit is just
Anthony Simmons.
not.
Simons, I mean.
All right, chill, Danny.
My bad.
No, it's all good. That's funny. No, yeah, you do that. I mean, I can't because I just can't. It's just I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
Ain't no one there that any team I think would be like, hey, let me get that guy and that guy. I mean, obviously there was a trade, but like I said, there was a trail of destruction.
Yeah.
That we got to that.
And I think at the end of that trail of destruction, or at the head of it, I should say, is the Miami Heat, because Dame and his agent had spoken so highly of the Heat as a landing destination for Dame. It left them with kind of only one option to send Dame, right? The Trailblazers, I mean.
Yeah, I remember people were talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, but this is what happens, right? as the other team, I mean, to me as a Heat, I would not have counted on Dame coming. So that would have been a huge pickup. It would have definitely, launched the Heat probably into the top two. Like I can't name another team in the East. Maybe the Sixers that could be contenders, but
Like for him to go to?
yeah, exactly. But to make them immediately like championship contenders is what I'm saying. But the Heat, trading
Atlanta?
away.
Boston?
I don't think so. I mean, Atlanta's a little guard heavy already. Boston, I think, is a little tough because you'd have to give up so many pieces to get Dame, and it makes you
Probably.
weaker defensively, which is at the heart of their, their culture. But it could have, potentially could have. I think if he went to Boston, there would have been no other team in the East that would have been able to come close to contending. It would have been Boston easy out of the East, and then whoever comes out of this wild, wild West. But the Heat have ended up as the biggest losers, I think, in this whole NBA offseason because they invested so much time, energy into getting Dame, and they ended up with nothing, trading away Max Strus, trading away Gabe Vincent, a couple of their key role players in this past NBA Finals run. But I don't think that Dame would have ended up in the Heat unless the Heat gave up way more than they would have been happy giving up. Like the Trailblazers wanted so much, but the Heat didn't have the assets to give them and maintain a contending roster. You know what I'm saying? Like what they would have gave up to get Dame would have kind of kept them at the same place, and it would have been like a 50-50 if they had even like moved the needle toward a championship run. And to me, if I'm Miami, I'm mad, I'm sad about this non-deal happening, but I think it keeps you alive a little longer if you're able to get another star in the next offseason, like maybe OG Anunoby or Pascal Siakam.
They would probably have to. They would have to sign somebody. Like someone's contract would have to expire.
Yeah. Well, those guys, their contracts are expiring at the end of the season. If they get them off of a trade and a la Kyrie trade to Dallas, get them for a trade and then hope that he resigns and he does. They do resign. That would probably be the easiest way for them to get a star for a bit of a bargain, while not giving up too many pieces. Yeah. The Dame trade is crazy. On the lesser scale, though, Chris Paul going from the Phoenix Suns to the Wizards and finally going to the Golden State Warriors, and Jordan
caught me
Poole
off guard
heading
too,
over
low-key.
to DC. Yeah, that I knew something was going to happen in Golden State. I did not know Chris Paul was going to end up in Golden State. I knew Jordan Poole or Draymond. I think everyone knew something was going to happen in Golden State to shake that team up. That punch that was heard around the world could not last more than a season. And it kind of showed us. Obviously, the chemistry was off this past season in the Bay. But
can I give the details?
Chris Paul. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Golden State Warriors and Washington Wizards reached a deal that sent Chris Paul to the Warriors for Jordan Poole, Ryan Rollins, a 2027 second-round pick, and a 2023 first-round pick. And that was reported via USA Today. But yeah, I mean, not as glamorous or as destructive as the Damian Lillard trade, but still a big deal. I mean, I think Chris Paul still has some juice left into him. I mean, I feel like he's starting to become a journeyman at this point. But yeah, I think Chris Paul still got some juice into him. So let's see how he fares with Stephen Curry and the Splash Brothers over there, and see what happens, how he fares with Draymond.
Yeah. There was a lot of speculation on the lineup for the Golden State Warriors with Chris Paul on there. I believe he came off of the bench when he played Sacramento. Let me double check that.
But I think it's a good pickup.
But so did everyone else. Yes, I mean, in these preseason games, I don't think there's been much to speak of.
Yeah, But very quickly, do you think he will be effective in this Golden State team to the point that he can get them at least deep into the playoffs? Give them a good deep playoff run, considering the Warriors have been shaky the past couple years.
Yeah, I think so. Their lineup against the Lakers started with Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Kevon Looney. So this small ball lineup with double guards up top, I think is something that they're going to run pretty often. I saw a lot of people saying that Chris Paul might come off the bench, run the second squad, something that Jordan Poole was not able to do. But I think it definitely takes them past the second round, possibly to the conference finals. But I mean, it's tough. Chris Paul is so injury tended.
He's getting old.
Yep, getting old. His hammy always been bothering him. It's just something that I think the Warriors have taken a chance on because, they themselves, Steph Curry has obviously been way more healthy, but they've got their own aging team. Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond. They're a little bit on the older side, and if you really want to use your Curry years left, you kind of have to throw, the kitchen sink at this.
Yeah.
And that was their answer this time. It was Chris Paul. I would like to see something close. I mean, this is not like a Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors where you say, "Oh,
no,
this is unfair," right?
But
it's not a super team in that way.
No, but you're getting experience. Like he knows how to ball. Yeah. He's not gonna outrun or outshine anybody. But you're getting experience. You're getting basically. Well, all right, this might be a stretch, but you're quintessentially replacing. How you say Andrew Iguodala?
Andre Iguodala? No.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, Iguodala, I think had
someone that can
more
carry their
physicality
own
to him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's
Chris
what
Paul
I mean.
Definitely carry
someone can carry their own. Like Iguodala, I don't know why people say that fool is not a baller. I mean, he won Finals MVP. What else do you want from the man?
I think his leadership, his tenacity, and the dog in him that final series really got him the Finals MVP.
Yeah,
I mean, his shooting, scoring ability during that run, of course. But I think Chris Paul on the Golden State Warriors definitely makes them a little bit more scary. But looking at the rest of the squad, I mean, they got a super young squad. They were able to pick up Rudy Gay. They trade away Dante DiVincenzo, who is another great backup guard for them. They still have Gary Payton. They got two of the young guys still, Jonathan Kuminga and Moody, Moses Moody. But other than that, they've got a very, very young team. Other than the core five, six if you count Chris Paul now. I mean, this is, you got former All-Stars on here, NBA champions, not Chris Paul, but it's a great team on paper. Kind of like the Clippers, great team on paper, but you might be lacking a little bit in depth. We'll see if that comes around to hurt them. And if Chris Paul can stay healthy, I think this would be a scary team to go up against. It's just unfortunate they weren't able to pick up someone else with a little bit more size. Kevon Looney's a little small.
Yeah.
I think that kind of hurt them against the Lakers. But yeah, I think they have a good shot, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, alrighty. Well, do you know what team Chris Paul used to play for a while back, a couple years ago? Not so long ago.
A couple years ago? You're not talking about the team that drafted him, no?
No, you're talking about the Suns.
Are you talking about the Clippers?
Did he play for the Suns?
Or are you talking about... Yeah, well, he came from the Suns, yeah.
And do you know what team lost? Do you know what team beat them in the most recent? Yeah.
In the playoffs?
Yes.
Denver Nuggets, the eventual NBA champions, of course.
Yes, and speaking as them being champions, Danny, do you think the Denver Nuggets have a chance to repeat They're bringing back mostly everybody. Do you think they have the motivation and the tenacity to do this feat once again?
Yeah, I think so. Jokic is just such an amazing player. Uh, they kept most of their core. They lost Bruce Brown. Um, they kept Reggie Jackson, who was a last minute trade. They lost Thomas Bryant, backup big for the Lakers, about a year ago, who eventually went to the Heat. But I think they kept most of their core. They still look scrappy. If Jamal Murray's healthy, the role players are still in there. They also lost Jeff Green, excuse me. But I think so. They've got a strong core. They got a lot of young guys who can definitely step up. They still got Reggie Jackson, very good point guard. KCP, great. Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon, who can forget? It's a great core. We'll see if it's enough. A lot of moves were made around the league. I think Lakers, who lost to them in the conference finals, grabbed a couple great pieces, kept the same similar core, picked up Gabe Vincent, picked up Torian Prince, a lot of role players that I think will contribute immensely to the game. But yeah, I think the Nuggets will do what they do. I think they end up at the top of the West again. I think the West will shake up a hair. I don't know if the Kings will be at the top again. They were in such a frenzied run last season. I think they do end up at 2 or 3, and then other than that, we'll see how the West goes. If you were to bet on it, what would you say, Robert? Let's make a wager early before the season even starts. Do you think the Nuggets make it to the NBA Finals? If so, why? Why not? And let's pick 2 teams that we think will make it to the finals this year.
Yeah, I think the Nuggets do have a good shot. Like I said, you're bringing back most of your receiving core, and it's usually the teams that that stick together and stay headstrong that usually win all the time. So I'll give it to them for that. If they don't win it, it's because Jokic is just watching too many horse videos.
Bro, it's insane because he's watching all those videos and he becomes like this horse racing champion when he goes back home. And he comes back and he's still a baller.
Remember, he's not racing the horses. He's betting on horses, or he has horses that.
No,
are
he is racing horses.
He's not the one that's racing them. He owns horses to compete.
Yeah, no.
But he also does own horses. Yes, he actually does ride horses occasionally.
Stop. He does ride horses. He does race his horses. It's time trial. He's not on the track with other people, right?
No, but
because I think he knows his body is too.
But he has horses that race for him, like
yeah. They race while he's gone.
Yeah, and that's how he wins. Like, I think he low-key has a betting addiction, but I digress.
Well, okay. That's separate. I'm talking about horses that he's got back home in. All
right, let me ask you this, because I don't know. Does he
Slovenia?
compete for like money?
I think he competes in time trials. Okay. Yeah, he sits in. It's different than like horse. He doesn't get on the back of a horse.
No, yeah.
2 horses are pulling him in like a cart.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I remember that. He does like the kart racing one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you are
That's
correct.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about like he's like riding like Seabiscuit or something.
No. Serbia. Excuse me. I said Slovenia earlier. Serbia.
Yeah, he's Serbian. But yeah, I think they can do it. But moving on very quickly, as we're running out of time here for the NBA section. It wouldn't be a preview if you don't preview a couple teams. And Danny, I know you like to talk a lot about the NBA, but give me.
Move on.
All right, I'm gonna throw you a bone. Okay. Give me 3 teams from each conference, and in a few words, Danny. So choose your words wisely. I will cut you off. I will say time. So from the Eastern Conference. 3 teams. You go one by one. Go.
Sure. At the top, Bucks. Just star power. Then 2, I got Celtics. Defensive power, young. And then 3, I probably still got the Sixers. Again, just star power. In the West, definitely the Nuggets. Pedigree, toughness, great role players. Number 2 in the West, I think it'll be the Suns. We'll see how their scoring experiment comes out, but yeah, star power again there. Um, and then I think I'm gonna give it in the West. I think I'm gonna give it to the Lakers. Kept their core similar to the Nuggets. Made a couple of improvements in the offseason. Um, yeah, that's it. Those are my 3. What about you, Robert?
What'd you say in the East? You said Bucks.
I said Bucks, Celtics, and Sixers.
Okay, I'm gonna go Sixers as my 1. So I'm gonna say Sixers go to the championship.
Whoa, okay, that's crazy.
Also, disclaimer: we can always change that anytime. Haha, it's my show anyway. Haha. So give me Sixers at 1. Actually, no, screw that. Miami at 1, Sixers at 2.
Ooh.
Oh wait, no, fuck. Damn it, this is hard. I'm doing it on the spot, by the way. I don't know, man. I think Miami just had a good team. It's just injuries kind of plagued them towards the end. A little bit of inexperience.
It was a shame that Jimmy Butler got a little injured early.
And then was it Tyler Hero couldn't play, who was arguably their best role player.
Broke his hand.
But so
you're gonna put your bets on Emo Butler. Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
You're a fool.
Man, I love that bit by Jimmy Butler. FYI, just go on the side.
So just FYI,
I can't wait for next season.
All his pictures are gonna be that one, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, this past season, more than once on one nationally televised game, they used the 2K version of Jimmy Butler instead of his dread photo, his media day dread photo from last season.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was crazy. Like, I cannot believe they used a rendered version of him instead of his photo. Like, you could have just pulled one from last season. No, you used a 2K photo of him. Crazy.
Really quick. I think it's because they get sent those pictures. That's why.
Yeah, I think so.
So they might as well, instead of having to go through their archives to find old pictures. But anyways, are you going to allow me to speak?
Yeah, go ahead. Pick your teams. Hurry up.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna down on this hill. Miami won. Then I'm gonna give a close second to the Sixers because Joel Embiid is just that good. And then my wild card because they got him, Dame and I'm forgetting how to say his name.
Giannis
Antetokounmpo. There you go. And then in the West,
I believe you're crazy for leaving out the Celtics, but go ahead.
They suck. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're insane. Go ahead.
Lack defense. Anyways, one, I'm gonna go. I think the Nuggets could do it. They could win it again. So give me Nuggets 1.
Nuggets 1.
And then I'm gonna give it to Dallas at number 2. I think Kyrie and who's the other guy? Luka Doncic. I think they'll get it together. And who's the owner from Dallas? Dang it, I remember his name. I remember his face. Mark Cuban. They'll get it together. Cuban. Like a Cuban sandwich. Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Cuban sandwich, not cumin the spice.
And my third team. Oh, man. I'm going to have to say.
I mean, you got a lot of options. You got the Suns, the Kings, the Warriors.
I don't know. Something telling me about Minnesota.
The Lakers. Minnesota?
Yeah,
Minnesota? Yeah. Anthony Edwards is doing pretty good in FIBA, but Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota.
That's crazy.
If not, it's going to be the Lakers, but it's because it's a toss-up. I'm not going to pick the Suns because the Suns, I thought the Suns were going to be good last year, and they went into the playoff looking like fools.
Okay. Just ignore the crazy man, folks. I believe the West fourth team, I already told you my top 3. The fourth team is a tie between the Golden State Warriors and the Kings.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, but probably I might give it to the Golden State Warriors just because of the veteranness in them. They kind of showed that it made the difference in them versus the Kings this past season. What a shootout! What a series that was. But yeah, ignore the man picking Dallas. God, and Minnesota. This guy's crazy.
All right, whatever, bro. We still have.
Where do we find this guy?
I don't know, bro.
We still got a lot of sports to talk about.
The streets.
Let's move on.
No, yeah, I think if
Let's
we're
get
good
out
with the
of this
NBA
squeeze.
talk, we talk we talk a lot about the NBA here on Rambling Runoff,
Yeah,
so
we do.
we'll be back to it. Don't worry. That was just a taste of the bickering. It'll get worse, trust me. But
Yep.
yeah, you ready to move on, my guy?
Yep. Let's go.
All right. Next up, topic number 2 on Rambling Runoff today. We have the what the hell? The NFL season. Sorry, I'm already getting my shit confused. I'm a little bit rusty. Okay. The NFL season, which is already under full swing, in which it's kind of a madhouse. Injuries galore. Teams you don't expect to do good are winning. The teams you expect to win are continuing to lose. But yeah, it's been a topsy-turvy type of season, which it's been interesting, which we'll kind of get to a little bit more later on in the show. But I'm going to go over the standings with you guys, by the way, just to get this ball rolling here. Usually we don't do a lot of the standings, but like I said, we're coming back from injury ourselves, you feel me? So to go over the AFC, the American Football Conference, in first place, we got Miami with Tua Tagovailoa leading the Dolphins. Behind them, we got the Buffalo Bills, who just won the other day over the Giants, 14-9. They got who they got up at the helm? Excuse me, I gotta look it up. I always say his name wrong. It's not Jared Allen, Josh Allen. Excuse me, Josh Allen, who's just been very good. He's thrown for 1,500 yards this season. They got Cook in the backfield, James Cook with 363 yards. So they've been doing really good. Then behind them, we got the Jets and New England, who is just a dumpster fire, who got goose-egged by the New Orleans Saints not so long ago, 34-0. So they're 1-5 currently. In the AFC North, we got the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson leading the helm in the offense, 4-2. Then we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3-2, Cleveland at 3-2 as well. Then the Cincinnati Bengals at 3-3. They got Joe Burrow rumbling and stumbling out there. He almost picked up a knock, which kind of had the people scared. So you gotta hope that he holds up for the rest of the season. Then in the AFC South, Jacksonville Jaguars, in my opinion, have kind of shocked me. They're at 4-2, leading the AFC South. Indianapolis and Houston at 3-3. Then the Tennessee Titans, I don't think no one thought they'd be in fourth place right now, at 2-4. In the AFC West, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. You already know what's coming. You know what's coming. We're gonna talk about it real quick. Patrick Mahomes, 1,500 yards so far.
Mhm.
Then the man of the hour with receiving yards, their tight end.
Oh Lord.
Travis Kelce, 346
TK.
yards. And Danny, he's dating your favorite artist, bro. What do you have to say about that?
I know. Man, everyone wants a piece of the Swift.
Danny is a...
Jeez Louise.
I don't know how, Danny. Can you explain really quick how you became a Swiftie?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe growing up with two sisters, maybe she makes some bomb ass music. I don't know. It's just what it is. She speaks to my soul. What can I say? The music is fire. The vibes are clean, immaculate, in fact. But the way that they've been milking this is insane. Outside of the Chiefs stadium parking lot, they have like wood, like pop outs of the players and Taylor Swift. It is insane. She is not a player or staff. It's crazy.
Dude, that's hilarious. It might be a little bit overkill, but hey,
Yeah.
he's on a good team.
Definitely.
He's a good player. What are you going to do? And the funny thing is, he shot his shot on his podcast.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw that clip. It was insane.
That's funny. But moving on now, 'cause I know we're not that type of podcast. Got the Las Vegas Raiders right behind them in 3-3. Then the Chargers 2-3, and the Denver. I was gonna say the other Denver team, but nope, the Denver Broncos. Oh my gosh, Broncos country! I thought we were gonna ride. It was Russell Wilson and Sean Payne at the helm. This is the polar opposite. 1-5 record is utter dog water. Honestly, they're bad. Worse than the Patriots, I would say. I think they lost like 70 to, what was it? Let me see. They lost 70-20 to the Dolphins. That's just garbage. Moving
It was
on now.
insane. That game was crazy.
No, yeah, dude. How do you lose by what? I'm not good at math. 70 minus 20.
50, idiot.
50. Hey, man, chill, bro. Gosh, man.
My God.
Swinging.
It's the simplest math.
This guy came out swinging. He been know I'm not good at math. Damn, that's why why do you think I always read stats on here? Damn. Anyways, gosh, had to come for the jugular on that one. NFC in the NFC, in the East, the Eagles are tearing it up. The other Kelsey plays on this team. They are 5-1. Right behind them, you got them boys, Dallas Cowboys, 4-2. Behind them, you got the Commanders, 3-3, and the Giants. Giants are struggling as well out of the gate, 1-5. In the NFC North, and this one's the shocker. This is what I meant by teams you wouldn't expect. The Detroit Lions, 5-1.
Yeah.
Damn. And then, like I said, you don't expect these guys to play bad, but since they've moved their star quarterback out. The Green Bay Packers 2-3. The Minnesota Vikings 2-4, and also another shitty team. The Chicago Bears also down in the dumps. In the NFC South, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3-2. The Falcons 3-3. New Orleans at 3-3. And I guess this is the bottom of the bottom barrel. The Carolina Panthers 0-6. Wow. Then to round it up in the NFC West, we have the Niner gang. Whatever the saying is, I don't know. I'm not a Niner fan. 5-11. And behind them, we have the Seahawks 3-2. The Rams 3-3, and the Cardinals 1-5. Damn, remember a couple years ago the Cardinals went undefeated like half the season, then they just crumbled, and people thought they were the shiznit, and then they weren't.
Yeah.
Now look where they are now, just down, way down in the barrel. But yeah, that's where we at right now. But Danny, I had mentioned earlier, there's been a lot of injuries.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's affected play a lot. For example, one Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but he's kind of famous.
Yeah, I don't know.
First game of the season.
Maybe you should ask your grandma or grandpa. They might remember.
Bruh. I think he played no less than a minute. Aaron Rodgers.
Was it like 2 plays, 3 plays?
Yeah, I think he tore his Achilles or popped his Achilles.
Yep. No, he tore his ACL, I believe.
Yeah, it tore his ACL. Excuse me. I just remember kid was like, they show it. You can see it's like the back of like his leg.
Yeah, you could just see it give.
It jiggled. I was like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
I'm like, I've never seen that. But he has said that he is willing to tough it out and, do everything he can to come back because Zach Wilson's not it, bro. He's not that guy, pal.
It is crazy because it takes a year to heal and a year-ish to rehab. And get back at full strength. What he's saying is nearly impossible. Like to come back into the season and play, especially a high contact sport like football. I don't think it's possible. I mean, if he does, he might give himself because this is already a career-ending injury for some.
And he's an older guy.
Yeah, exactly. And to say that you're gonna come back and play on it, and likely, I think the timetable was for him to come back in the postseason to make a run for a championship is insane. You're asking to hurt yourself beyond repair for anybody. Like not talking about an athlete at the height of their health, peak physical ability and form to come back from an injury like this, but then to push yourself to perform and perhaps get injured again to a debilitating. I don't know, give yourself like a debilitating injury that can never be repaired, no matter how much rehab, no matter how much time you throw at it. I think it's insane. I think it's risky, reckless even, to say that. I think he needs to take his time. Really, what I think is he should have retired a year ago, 2 years ago, when he said he was going to, and they called him while he was on the golf course.
No, he was dicking around.
No, I think he should have retired then because
he's a weirdo, Danny. You have to understand that he's a Zen-like man who just does not care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's worth the risk. I don't think the Jets are even close to being contenders, even with him on the roster.
All right. I see you, cuz. I see you.
Yep.
Do you have anything else to say before I go through like a quick list of other notable injuries?
That's all I got.
All right, real quick. I mentioned Joe Burrow. He hadn't missed any regular season. It was in the preseason where he picked up his knock. He hurt his calf, so a lot of people were like, kind of iffy.
Yeah, I think he had reduced
they
minutes
out,
in his first game.
Yeah, they started out 0-2. I mean, he's only 27, and they had to put in Jake Browning for that couple of snaps. And yeah, Joe Burrow, I feel like, is another guy. If you lose him, then you're done.
Oh yeah.
Another guy who, I think a lot of people were shocked that got hurt early on in the season. Nick Chubb. I want to read this quick excerpt from NBC News. The latest and perhaps the most gruesome injury of the 2023 season came on Monday night. Nick Chubb suffered a severe knee injury in Cleveland's loss, ending his 6th NFL season prematurely. The 4-time Pro Bowler has been one of the league's best running backs since being drafted in 2018, trailing only behind Derrick Henry and rushing yards over that span. The Browns will now turn to a pair of unproven second-year backs in Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong. Yeah, Nick Chubb is just a beast. He knows how to turn his legs. He knows how to get through the holes. He knows how to burst through the holes. Yeah, that was another big loss that I'm pretty sure a lot of people's fantasy teams suffered because of that. Another running back that we lost in the beginning in week 2 of all weeks was Saquon Barkley for the New York Giants. I feel like that was another reason why they've been struggling. Barkley suffered an ankle sprain late in their Sunday game and their comeback win over the Cardinals. The injury, reading another excerpt, seemed worse than it actually was because they hadn't ruled them out for their next game, I believe it was. But after further review, they had to shut him down. So it just sucked that Saquon Barkley. I got to see him play on television for Penn State, and he was tearing it up. So hopefully for a speedy recovery. And then on the receiving side, another offensive threat, someone who I think very consistent for this team as a receiver, Cooper Kupp. He's arguably their star receiver.
Devastating.
He was put on the. No, yeah, it was devastating. He was put on the injury reserve with a hamstring injury before the season, and he would miss a minimum of 4 weeks. Was what happened. Yep. But just after that, I guess they looked at it more and they're like, you know what, this is not gonna work out, and we're gonna have to put you down for a bit longer. So yeah, it's just injuries galore. But you know what happens when you have injuries or you have to replace people? Danny, do you know what happens?
Some people come out and they step up.
Yeah, exactly. And have you seen a movie called Coach Carter?
Yes.
And different circumstance, but as Samuel Jackson says, then we'll have a new leading scorer this season. Which is true, I think. I always like quoting that part of the movie because it is true. When one door closes, another door opens, correct? So that way you're going to get people who rise and shine, or you're going to get people that crumble under the pressure.
Yeah.
But sometimes pressure makes diamonds, so which one are you going to be?
Sometimes it does.
You're going to be sand, or are you going to be a diamond? In this case, we're seeing which.
Or you're going to be diamond, baby.
The fuck? But yeah, basically that's basically how it's been going for a lot of teams, and I think, like I said, we read over the standings, and you can see who's faltering from those injuries. Because if I go back to it, Saquon Barkley was, I believe, the only attacking threat for the Giants. They're 1-5. Aaron Rodgers left Green Bay. The Packers are 2-3. The Jets themselves are 3-3 somehow. And you can see the Bengals are 3-3 with not 100% Joe Burrow. So it is hurting teams. It's hurting teams for sure. Like the Saints, for example, they had lost Derek Carr in one of their games, and that spoiled the win for them. They were leading and they lost. I think it was their 1 point loss to Green Bay. Actually, Derek Carr got hurt. Jameis Winston went in, and they lost the lead, and that's how they lost. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's been a weird season. I think we're getting a little bit of that baseball effect, which we'll kind of get into in a little bit. But it wouldn't be. We're gonna do something a little bit similar as we did in the NBA section. I know, Dan, you don't watch a lot of NFL, a lot of football, but if you could, I'll make it easier for you. Give me at least 2 teams, one from the AFC, one from the NFC, that you think will make a run for the Super Bowl. How about that? Can you do that for me at least?
Okay. Number 1, Chiefs, easily.
Okay, why?
I mean, they kept their core. Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce. What more can I say? I guess the second from the AFC would probably be. Look at this. No.
You want to do another one? All right, go for it.
Maybe the
got?
Bengals have been doing pretty good, but like you said, Joe Burrows with his injury. I'm in a fantasy league this year with my cousins. Shout out. Not doing too hot. I got Joe Burrows injured in the first game. Not injured, but injured preseason, like you said. Limited minutes. Has been doing okay. Yeah, those probably the best in the AFC. Yep.
I'm forgetting his name, but you did what he did. We're on a sports podcast, and you're barely mentioning this.
What?
Your fantasy team.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, it's a smaller thing. I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's casual.
You're a fool.
It's casual, In the NFC...
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name, but yeah.
In the NFC... Yeah, I mean, the Lions have busted out so strong. Without Cooper Kupp, I don't think the Rams have it. But he is going to come back this season, so hopefully. The Niners, I think, have been doing pretty well. So I will give it to the Niners and the Rams.
Okay, I see you. Yeah, I think... Actually, I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Dolphins have good records thus far. Yeah. They got
They're 5-1.
Yep.
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa. They have a lot of good wins. I mean, they have one bad loss, which was against the Falcons of all the teams, in my opinion. Yeah. They destroyed the Texans. No, excuse me. Actually, no, why is it showing me preseason? I don't want that one. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Patriots. They destroyed the Broncos. Their only loss was to the Bills, which is their bad loss, 48-20. Yeah. Dismantled the Giants, and
they
got
killed
rid of
the Broncos.
40. Oh yeah, they killed them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
they literally beat a dead horse.
Damn, fool, chill with the puns, bro.
Talk about beating a dead for real.
The metaphors.
It's insane.
The metaphors. We'll just have to wait until the end of the season when they play the Bills again and see where they are, because they don't. I wouldn't say they have a tough schedule coming up, in my opinion. No, even though some people would say that. I mean, you gotta play the Eagles, who are good.
Yep.
The Patriots or whatever. The Chiefs are good. The Raiders are whatever. The Jets are whatever. The Commanders are whatever. Titans are whatever. That's what. And the Cowboys are whatever.
Yeah.
Come at me,
says
bro.
here January 7th. The Bills come out.
They played the Bill. Yeah, on the 7th.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be.
That's probably their next
that
test,
crazy
really.
for them.
If they can survive with no injuries.
I don't think it's gonna be that crazy. And
in January,
the NFC.
Yeah, the NFC.
Based off of what I know right now, I think I did this last year. I'm gonna go with them again. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. They're just good. They got really good defense. They're tough, and their offense is not that shabby. So I don't know. I think that's where I'm gonna go right now. You could probably argue the Niners, maybe Detroit, based off of their current playing ability. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. All right. Let me see where we are on time. We're doing good on time in this topic. I'm just gonna go over some important dates. By the way, we'll go over the holiday schedule because football on the holidays is always important.
Thanksgiving coming right up.
First up, we got we got the Thanksgiving games in November. Packers at Lions, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Commanders versus the Cowboys, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Then rounding out the late game on Thanksgiving, the Seahawks versus the 49ers, 8:20 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Check your local listing. Then the NFL threw a bone in that week as well. We got a Black Friday game. Dolphins at Jets, 3 p.m. Eastern on Amazon Prime. Then we got a couple Christmas Day games. Raiders at Chiefs, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Giants at Eagles, that should be a doozy. 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Then we also have the Ravens at the 49ers on ABC. Check your local listings. Then to round out the last of the holiday games, we got a New Year's Eve game, I should say, if I have that correct. We have the Bengals at the Chiefs, 4:25. Let's say 4:20 p.m. Eastern, CBS. So if you're ready for some football, check your calendars for those holidays. Let me see. I want to double check that. This is January game. Cause yeah, I want to tell the people lies. We said Bengals and Chiefs, right, Danny?
Yep.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. Well, actually, no, we have a slew of games on New Year's Eve. Actually, why don't we write down one? The world may never know. But yeah, that might be the best game of that weekend. Bengals Chiefs. How about that? We'll keep it at that. Yeah, check your schedules. It should be a good NFL season. So far, it's been great, and it's been a lot of topsy-turvy, as I mentioned, in which now I will segue into our next topic. Daniel, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
The warm-up topic is parity. Is a parity year for all the sports teams. The MLB has seen it. A lot of bottom-of-the-barrel teams are making noise. The new pitch clock, has made it very much enjoyable for a lot of people because the games are only about 2 hours now, instead of 4 hours. Lots of home runs, lots of stolen bases, and teams with big names and payrolls stunk up the joint. We have the Padres, who supposedly were going to win it all and win all these things, and what ended up happening was nothing because they sucked. And it didn't help that they didn't have Tatis for the couple of games, so they screwed the pooch themselves. You had the Baltimore Orioles come up. The Twins were really good. Detroit was pretty good. As of right now, the Texans and the Astros are battling it out. Seattle, had a good chance in there. For like a while, we were talking about the Angels, but then they faltered out because they couldn't figure out what to do with the Ohtani.
Yeah.
The Braves were
recently
consistent.
just got his surgery.
What happened?
He recently just got his Tommy John surgery.
Yeah. Hopeful speedy recovery for him. Yep. The Cincinnati Reds caught fire towards the end there because they had that new star player. Dang, what was his name? I'm not too familiar because he just kind of showed up out of nowhere. Ellie, how do you say it? Ellie De La Cruz, there you go. Dude, that fool can ball. He can run and he can hit. It's crazy. Then down in the West, I don't know, it was like a weird year. The Dodgers picked sadness to end their season. And then the Diamondbacks, the Arizona Diamondbacks are really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going pretty well it was a very interesting season with the pitch clock and with everything going on in the league. But it was very parody style. Yeah. So it was interesting. I think a lot of MLB junkies enjoyed it. We went over the NFL. Like I said, a lot of injuries. But I also think what it is too, and I failed to mention this prior, I think what it was too, we said goodbye to a lot of old heads. So no more Tom Brady, no more Drew Brees. Aaron Rodgers is hurt. So you're seeing a lot of these younger players step up. And surprise, they're not all good. Oh no, what happened? You guys didn't develop anybody in that time? Like, come on, guys. Like, yeah. I don't know what these teams were thinking, that these quarterbacks of yore were going to be lasting forever, which unfortunately they did not. We talk about it here every once in a while. I don't know much about it, but hockey might see the same thing as well, low key. You just had the Vegas Knights, who are fresh off the boat, very brand new, win the championship last season. And then, Danny, we'll get to it here. In the NBA, are they scheduled for a parity loop as well?
I mean, yeah. I think it, just like MLB, NFL, I think just the fact that we are not able to say who are the top contenders right off the top of our head, definitely. I think it might be a little less, like I said earlier, for NBA in the East, there's definitely two top teams, three, four if you include the Heat. In the West, like I said, wild West. A lot of teams move around, big powerhouses in the West. That make it really hard to say who's gonna make it out on top. Yeah, parity is definitely a big thing in all sports, and I think in general this is just a byproduct of giving players the incentive and the option to move, which I think is good. When you leave it up to the franchises and the front offices, you punish the players. You get teams and franchises that punish themselves because they don't want to give the players what they want, even though it's not working out. You waste a person's life. You waste the opportunity that they might be able to provide and contribute to a winning franchise, or even get a chance to produce for another franchise that might be a better fit. I think it's great. Parity, I think, really is great in all sports. Yeah, no drawbacks about it. I think maybe other than the fact that sometimes it forces players to, with so much power, it kind of runs into the injury issue that we were talking about earlier. It's just something that happens when the players are playing so hard, and because of the contract, I think they want to contribute to the dollar amount that they're being paid, something like that. It just leads to more injuries, but I think parity is great.
Oh, okay. Because I'm used to it because I watch a lot of Major League Soccer, which the quality isn't the best because you do have a lot of lower value, lower paid players, running around the field, running around the pitch, which is fine. I'm open to it. At least for either a lot of low scoring games or a lot of high scoring games, in which we're reading over some of the NFL scores and you saw 70-20, 48-20. Like, what is this? Like, what is going on? Like, in the NFL, we're due for some ties.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Because the past couple of years, we've been getting draws. So, like, if you follow us on Instagram and Twitter, I intentionally add ties nowadays because it's starting to get a little more common. Because, yeah, it's true. You can get a tie in the NFL. So, we're due for some draws coming up, for sure. But, yeah, I think it's a good thing, too. Negatively, I would say it hurts because, especially with the injuries, you're expecting these teams that spend a lot of money to be good, and their best player gets hurt, a la the Jets. Or you spend a lot of money, and like, for example, Toronto FC in the MLS, the highest payroll in the league, are finishing dead last. Like, how is that even possible? And then even look in the NBA, Danny. Look what the Clippers did. Look what the Clippers made the league do. The league had to put in a rule saying you can't be injured more than X amount of days, or you can't be sat out X amount of days, because it's not just the league, but the sponsors are investing for to see good quality basketball with these high paid players. And what is it, Paul George and who's the other fool?
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, we saw him for half a season. What the hell is that?
Yeah, but I think
So,
it's a part of a bigger issue that these players, they're paid all this money, but I guess that'd be the drawback. You focus all your money into these star players. You don't get a lot of money to put pieces around them, and because of that, they have to work harder to get to what they want. Which is a championship. And because of that, they get injured. It's a give and take.
Because, yeah, like, look at the Denver Broncos. They gave up an arm and a leg to get Russell Wilson, and he's been a flop.
Yeah. I think that's just unfortunate.
Or they went out to unretire Sean Payton, and they've been a flop. Maybe you're right. They could be your example that they just have not invested in the right people to surround them.
Yeah.
But also, like how you kind of said, like, you'll get people that you invest a lot of money into and they think they run the show, but they don't, which is what the rumors are coming out of Denver. Allegedly, Russell Wilson is just trying to control everything. Allegedly. So, who knows what it could be down in Denver? Is someone just controlling everything too much? Are they just not a good team? But yeah, like when you look at the standings, like why are these teams only 1-5, 0-6? And then you got teams like Detroit who have not won anything. I don't think Detroit's won a playoff game in like 20 plus years. Because they were cursed, by the way.
Yeah.
They were cursed by a former player over 100 years ago. I think in 2009, 2010, the curse was supposed to be lifted. And then what happened right after that? They went 0-16.
Damn.
They went 0-16 when the curse was supposed to be lifted, or end at least. So, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. It was enjoyable in baseball because baseball's already random. Oh, I also forgot in baseball they got rid of like shifting. So basically you couldn't have no more than, for the infielders, you couldn't have no more than 2 people on each side of second base, basically.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have all your infielders on one side. So they could have the ball and play more, which I think you got to see a lot more. Or what teams were doing, they were putting all their outfielders on one side, but the guy could just hit the ball in the opposite direction and end the game there. So it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, you're seeing a lot of parity. You're seeing we're having a lot of people surprised nowadays. Is that fair? Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I think so.
And, it leaves people surprised, which I think is good. But, yeah, the downside is, you'll get, like, the injuries. You get the sloppy play.
Yeah, a little bit.
It is what it is. We're not the ones out there running around.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're not the ones putting our bodies on the line, I think a lot of people say our team, my team, we, when, their team plays. I think that's all in good fun and good fandom, but...
you don't get paid?
Yeah, we don't get paid. We're not the ones putting our bodies on the line every day. But it's fun to watch. It's all entertainment at the end of the day. These are great feats of athleticism. But it is what it is. I think parity is great just because it makes all sports like more fun to watch. Unfortunately, that does come with some of the injuries and such that we've been witnessing. But yeah.
The only other drawback I can think of, if you're gonna say we, is, well, you go to games all the time and you invest a lot of money. Not like you go to one game a year.
Yeah.
Or you watch all the games on TV. No. Like, you go to the games.
Yeah.
You go to autograph signings.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you do contribute to the team.
You're not an ultra fan, but you're just a legit fan.
Yeah. And at that point, you are financially contributing to the team,
Yes.
right outside of owning the team or investing. But
yes, exactly.
I can understand the investment there, but at the end of the day, if they lose, what do you lose? You paid for entertainment. You saw it. You were entertained.
You lost 3 hours of your life.
Yeah, but at the very end of the day, you're not the one getting bruised, battered out there, right? It's not your name that's being slandered, right? If it is, your reputation's not on the line. No, I think it's a bigger risk and reward for these athletes.
Let me put it like this in the parody state.
Sure.
Who looks more like a fool? The fan that paid for 2 tickets, front row at a basketball game, or the player that sits on the bench getting paid millions of dollars and to do nothing?
There it is.
Which one is it? Who's worse?
I mean, obviously it's the fan.
Yeah.
But I
But
think
of course, when you're the fan, it's the player. Because you're like, I came to see you play and you didn't play.
Well,
what do you tell the what
I
does
see
the
what
player
you're
say?
saying.
Well, I'm hurt. Yeah, I know. No, it's still no. You're good. Like, okay, well, when you come back? Well, I don't know. Next year. bro.
Yeah.
That's
I see
not.
what you're saying about the injury.
That's whack.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could see, it is disappointing when, the player that you kind of went to go see doesn't play. Um,
And then your team sucks
yeah.
because he don't want to play or he can't play.
Yeah. I think it's a little different for some teams when it happens, but they're still contenders, like that's what the parity is for. But when all that sitting still doesn't push the needle, like I think the Clippers hoped that getting Westbrook would have pushed them over the edge, and even with all from the beginning, they're trying to save Kawhi for the playoffs, which is kind of what Jimmy Butler does. He saves himself for the playoffs, but Kawhi is just a little bit more injury prone. He just wasn't able to contribute in that way and carry the team after, or at the end of the regular season into the postseason.
And very quickly too, it might not just be injuries; it just be poorly constructed teams. Like I said, my example, Toronto FC, highest payroll in the MLS, dead last.
Yep.
You got Insigne and Bernadeschi, two high caliber European players on their squad, and they can't even make the playoffs when half the league makes the playoffs. That's just insane.
Yeah, it's crazy sometimes.
But do you have anything else to add to the parody? And if you like to chime in on this, do you like parody? Well, I'll put a poll somewhere. If you like parody, tell us yes or no, and in the comments, tell us why. How about that? Is that cool, Danny? Should we do that? All right. But Dan, you have anything else to say?
That's all I got. I think we talked this to death. Talk about the Broncos.
Nah. They're dead already. Moving on to the rundown. From the warm-up to the rundown. Whatever time we got left. I'm going to try to go these as quick as possible. Okay? I know Danny wants to skedaddle. We got the NWSL that just wrapped up the regular season. They are now moving into the playoffs. Just finished up decision day. The quarterfinals will begin October 20th. We have the Oil Reign versus Angel City FC at 10 p.m. on Paramount Plus. On Sunday, October 22nd, it's the North Carolina Courage versus the New Jersey New York Gotham FC, 7 p.m. CBS Sports Network. Then after that, we have this on Sunday, November 5th. It's either going to be the Portland Thorns, who got their first round bye, playing either Carolina or New York, New Jersey, at 7 p.m. CBS Sports Network. Then the other team that got the bye was San Diego Wave, who is waiting either against Seattle or Los Angeles, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network. Then the championship game will be played Saturday, November 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern on CBS and Paramount Plus. So, if you need like a quick description, I'll read it to you for how it works. The top 6 teams will qualify to the playoffs, with the top 2 seeds earning a first-round bye in a single elimination tournament format. The quarterfinals kick off with the number 3 seed hosting the number 6 seed and the number 4 seed hosting the number 5 seed on October 22nd. After pausing for an international break, the number 1 seed will host the winner of 4 and 5 in the semifinals, while the number 2 seed will host the winner of 3 and 6 on November 5th. The playoffs will conclude with the NWSL Championship presented by Bud Light, not sponsored, in San Diego, California at Snapdragon Stadium on November 11th. Did you like how I added that? But I'm excited. Angel City, our hometown team, squeaked into the playoffs with a 5-1 victory over the Portland Thorns. And shout out to Cine LaRue with that sick-ass bicycle kick, by the way. That shit was nice. Moving on now. The U.S. men's national team fell to Germany 3-1 this past weekend as they played Germany in an international friendly. Christian Pulisic scored his 27th international goal, and Florian Balogun recorded his first assist. I was able to watch this game on television. I thought the team was really good in the first 45. We had to see Gio Reyna play again. Hopefully they were able to sweep whatever dust and dirt under the rug between head coach and manager Greg Berhalter. Like I said, the first 45 were good. I don't know what happened in the last 45. That was when Germany were able to get those 2 other goals. They went 1-1 and a half, by the way. The Oktoberfest buff. Nah, they're Germany's on like a tour right now because they're gonna host the Euros. I think next year, I believe it is. So they didn't have to play in the tournament. So like this is the reason why they're over here. They're also playing Mexico, by the way, this week, or as of this recording, whichever it may be. And also as of this recording, the U.S. should be playing Ghana in Nashville. A low-key rivalry there. The U.S. and Ghana have faced at least 2 or 3 times in the World Cup. The Ghanaians have had the better of the two, but the U.S. was able to get revenge back in, I think it was the 2014 World Cup, where Dempsey scored that very early goal, and then John Brooks scored the winner in like the 80-something minute, and that's when the commentator would go, "It's John Brooks! It's John Brooks!" Like no one could believe that he scored. But yeah, I think the U.S. is in good hands right now. I feel like if they get Tyler Adams back for any other games, they'll look stunning because I think they've been playing very well. But yeah, playing against Germany is a very good opposition for them. It gives them good practice against teams of higher quality per se, considering that Germany has kind of faltered in the past couple World Cups. But it's okay. I think the U.S. is going to be doing fine in whatever friendly or tournament they face coming up. Moving on now in the rundown, we also have some NASCAR news. Danny, do you remember that? We used to cover NASCAR. So they're almost done with their season, in which Kyle Larson won the South Point 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this past weekend. Larson is the first driver in NASCAR's championship race and earned his 4th win of the season. So yeah, they're almost to like their equivalency to like the playoffs basically. So it's about to start heating up. I know drivers and teams are going to start getting desperate. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens at the end of the season. The next race will be Sunday, October 22nd, NASCAR Cup Series race at Homestead, Miami. Homestead Miami Speedway. That would be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. And then to finish it off, we have the WNBA Finals, which are also in full swing. The New York Liberty are facing off against the defending champions, Las Vegas Aces. As of this recording, the Las Vegas Aces are leading 2-1, and we will be seeing a Game 4. And if you're listening to this on Wednesday, they will be playing in Brooklyn, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. So either we will have a Game 5, or the Las Vegas Aces will be hosting the championship once again. Danny, have you been following the WNBA by any chance?
I have a little bit. Not as much as was last season. I mean, the Aces are just an incredible team. You know, defending champs from last season.
Yeah, they're good.
They're crazy. They're insane.
They're
I mean, that's a true super team. I think
Kelsey Plum, bro.
Yep, Kelsey Plum is insane. I think it was the Chicago Sky last season gave them a little bit of a run for their money.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
But yeah, the Aces, I think they got it in the bag. You know, it's a true super team that they got out there in Vegas.
No, yeah, man. I can't wait to see what happens at the end of it. Yep. Hopefully, I have the Aces winning it. By the way.
Oh, of course.
Who do you think is going to win?
Aces. Are you kidding me?
All right, there you go. You heard it from the not dead horse's mouth. All right, Danny. We've talked about everything. Are you ready for the outro now? We haven't done this in a while.
Sir, you want me to do it? I can pick it up.
Alrighty then. All right, go for it.
Thank you guys for listening to Rambling Runoff. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It really means a lot. Leave a comment, please, for the algorithm. If you're listening on Spotify has a new comment section. You can definitely comment down there. I think we can put polls on there, Robert, if you want to give that a shot. Rate us.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I've done it before.
Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you can find us. Please leave a comment. It really means a lot.
There's no more Stitcher.
What is it now?
Spotify. We're on Apple Music.
Podcast.
No, it's Amazon.
Amazon.
Amazon as well.
And sincerely, thank you guys if you're listening now. Thanks for tuning back in, sticking with us. Thanks for listening in general.
The socials.
Yeah. If you want to find us on Twitter, find us at Rambling Runoff. On Instagram, we are Rambling RunOff as well, and occasionally we post on TikTok. But again, sincerely, thank you guys for listening. We're back. We should be back a little more consistently. Robert, you got anything else to say?
I got ideas. That's all I'm gonna say. It may or may not happen. We'll put it at that.
Let the man cook. Let the man cook.
Let me cook. It's now or never. But yeah, thank you again. I've been your host, Robert Rios. Danny Tan on the other side. See you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace out. Woo!